Show me.
I'm the martial arts film freak, and I watched Raya and the Last Dragon.
Let's catch you up. My name is Raya. Our lands have been at war for as long as we can remember. Our people never see eye to eye.
My daughter, I believe our people can come together again. But someone has to take the first step.
Now, in order to restore peace, we must find the last dragon.
Raya and the Last Dragon is a 2021 film directed by Don Hall, Carlos Lopez Estrada, and Paul Briggs. Yep, that's what I want. I want a movie about Asian characters directed by a guy named Don and a guy named Paul. Didn't expect to read that on IMDb. The movie has a huge cast of incredible talent, so I'm just going to read them here because there's no way I'm going to remember every single one of these fantastic names. So we're gonna start with the top. It's Kelly Marie Tran, Aquafina, Gemma Chan. I generally don't know how to pronounce her name, but she's very good. Isaac Wang, Daniel Day Kim, Benedict Wong, Jonah Xiao, Sandra Oh, Talia Tran, Lucille Sung, Alan Tudyk as the only white cast member. He's also just the voice of the creature that goes and then yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Those are the main characters, but you also got like a Sung Kang somewhere deep in there, a Ross Butler. There's some pretty big names in here. The movie is of course about Raya, a young woman who, after each of the sort of, I think 5 nations of this land are each come into possession of the Dragon Stone, this stone that for centuries has locked away evil and maintained peace throughout the land. After it is shattered, evil is let out, the land is now screwed again, and each of the 5 sort of nations has their own piece of the stone. She then has to collect all 5 pieces to bring peace to the world, and along the way she meets some people who help her along her journey, and that's actually one of my favorite parts of this movie is her building this team, sort of unknowingly building the team. She's just kind of meeting these people and they all just kind of join her quest, and she's like, well, okay then. And it's actually done really well. Early on, she finds the last dragon. No, not Timok, not why am I blanking on his name? Not Bruce Leroy, not that last dragon, but Sisu. Sisu, who is voiced by Aquafina in a very fun performance. I didn't find it exactly completely hilarious. I thought it was fun. And what I liked about it is it was very much animated like the genie in Aladdin. In which it felt like the character was animated after she gave her voice performance. So the character just, it has certain facial features and certain expressions and certain movements that felt very Aquafina, and I liked that quite a bit. The only part of that character that bugged me, and it's kind of weird because this doesn't completely bug me with the genie, and maybe it's because the genie is Robin Williams, and the genie maybe kind of has different powers than a dragon. I don't know. That's sort of stupid. But one thing that did sort of bug me with her character is I'm not the biggest fan of like anachronistic comedy in a situation like this. So this is this like fantasy, like, you know, this is this like fantasy world, and if you had to say it takes place in our world, then it takes place, you know, like a long time ago in the past. And there's just moments where the Aquafina character, the, you know, Sisu, will say something like in the trailer she says, oh, you know, like the kid in class who, like, you know, didn't really participate in the group project and just kind of turned it in and got the same grade. It's a fun line. I'm not the biggest fan of a joke like that in, like, just an area where it doesn't make sense. She also does later on, like, a joke about doing, like, a dance battle, and she makes, I'm pretty sure, like, a b-boy reference, and I'm like, you shouldn't know what that is. I don't like that, really. There was one moment where Sisu... as the dragon starts glowing, and you know the last dragon already sounds like, as I joked about earlier, Bruce Leroy, the last dragon. And in the last dragon you have something called the glow, and so there's the moment where Sisu starts glowing and Aquafina says, I have the glow. I couldn't help but think they did that on purpose. She's the last dragon, Bruce Leroy's the last dragon, Bruce Leroy has the glow, she has the glow. Maybe I'm digging too far into this. That felt right to me, though. This movie does do a fantastic job of like telling us exactly what the stakes are. Like the world building throughout this movie, I think is actually done quite well. And within that world building, like I said, you sort of have these like I think it was 5 nations. You have Fang, Tail, I don't know, Spine, Heart, and probably something else that I can't remember. But what I felt was happening with that, and I could be wrong, was that like each of these areas was essentially like a different part of Asia. Like I thought at first that Heart was sort of more the Philippines based on sort of the I think at one point she has like some Kali sticks, but also she kind of starts doing some Wing Chun at one point. So I was like, oh, is this actually China? And then the Fang, like one of the characters is 100% doing Muay Thai. So I'm like, all right, that's Thailand. And then one of the characters from one of the other areas, I'm like, you're definitely supposed to be Mongolian. So that's sort of the feel I got from this, although I could be wrong on some of those, and I know I didn't say all of them, because I'm genuinely not sure. But back to sort of this martial arts aspect of it, I really did enjoy like noticing those things of she does like a certain stance or something, or a certain kick, and I'm like, that's a Wing Chun stance, that's a Muay Thai stance, those are Kali sticks, that's this, that's that. That was actually a very fun thing for a martial arts nerd like myself, and if you're a martial arts nerd, you'll probably also pick those things out and really enjoy it. One thing you may not enjoy as a martial arts fan, though, is actually, sadly, the fight scenes. They were good, they're enjoyable, they're fun, they're really cool to look at. However, you could sort of tell that not as much care was put into them as perhaps should have been. This is sort of a more action-packed Disney animated movie, and if you're going to have these fight scenes, then why not put some extra care into the choreography? A lot of the times it was just sort of your base animated choreography that you see in a lot of things. I just wish that there were moments where there were perhaps like exchanges or just more thought out moments of choreography like that you could actually latch onto. It's cool to see them get in their stances and be like, yeah, that's Muay Thai, yeah, that's Wing Chun, or that's Kung Fu, whatever. But if then they just start sort of punching and kicking to no actual set choreography that feels real, then I mean, I don't want it to feel real because it is animated, but it would be nice to have like that cool section of choreography that really you just latch onto and you remember and you think that part of the fight scene, that was awesome. Instead, it's just like, yeah, that whole fight scene just happened. It was cool, I guess. But even though this is, supposed to be your more action-packed kind of Disney animated film, the story probably here is really what matters, just as well as a lot of Disney films, Disney animated films especially. And for that, the characters, I think, are fantastically well done. The small details of each character that brings them all closer together, the loss, each character has experienced some sort of loss, and that brings them closer together, because even though they have lost something, that brings them together as they start to care for each other, but also they know their common goal is the same thing. Of course, they want the world to have peace again, but they know that they want to bring back not only their own family, but they want to bring back their friends' family. They want their friends to be happy. And I think that part is really actually my favorite part of it. And in that, they become a family. They're not even together that long, but their characters are so well done, their situations are so well written that their bond grows throughout just this really short time. Also, real quick before I give this a grade, the animation, wow, I don't know like that much about animation. I know when it looks good, and holy damn, that looks good. There's one part where like someone falls into the water and the camera just, not even camera, it's animated, just like focuses on the water splashing and moving, and wow. Like, I know animation has been getting better and better throughout the years, but that water, that was some real looking water. That's how you know someone's a movie nerd. Like when they just like focus on like the animation of like a single thing. Like, yeah, sure, this whole movie looks good, but like, did you see that water? Don't talk to that guy at work, because he'll probably just talk your head off. Don't talk to me at work. In the end, I think I'm going to give Raya and the Last Dragon, let's go 4 Dragon Stones out of 5. That feels good. I like that quite a bit. This is a very enjoyable movie. I think this would probably be a fun like double feature with a couple things. Like watch it with Moana, and then also maybe watch it with like Soul. And the reason I say that is because Soul is like not a kid's movie. I don't think a kid is gonna like Soul. But then also show them this, and they'll be like, all right, this is more my tempo, because the comedy is a bit, lighter and it's more action-packed. But this is genuinely a very good movie. I do recommend it. The fight scenes aren't as good as I wish they were. I wish there was a lot more focus put into them. I wish there was more focus put into the choreography. As you know, we've seen animated films do that before. I just recently did a video about Batman Soul of the Dragon where I discussed a couple things where the animation and the choreography within the animation is fantastic. So it can be done. It's not like, you know, it's like, oh, well, it's just a cartoon. What do you want to do with the fight scenes? You can do great things with cartoon fight scenes. And this movie sadly didn't do it, but that's fine because other things about the movie were still very good. But maybe I'm wrong. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head over to Facebook, where there is the Martial Arts Film Freak Facebook page, Martial Arts Film Freak on Instagram, Tristan_Glover on the Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.